Soccer in the street, first thing in the morning, tweaks. Cranes are working, people are working, and I've already worked. So let's roll that intro. What's going on YouTube, and how's it going today? It's another glorious, beautiful day as usual. So things I'm going to talk about on the bike today. Well, let's start with this one. Things I don't like about my Iron 1200, and that one right there, that little light right there. Bike's not running right now, so the oil light's on, but that light right there is one of the things I don't like about my Iron 1200. That tiny little tank. And we'll get more into that once I fill it up. Yeah, so one of the things, this is tiny little tank. It's a dirty little tank. This bike needs to be bathed. I haven't even given it a bath after its long ride. And give it some of that go-go juice. Some of the good stuff, 94 octane. That's all I run in this stuff because it doesn't have ethanol in it. Of course, anybody knows anything about ethanol, it's not good for rubber parts like hose lines and stuff, gas lines and shit. And if you're going to park your bike for a long period of time, put non-ethanol gas in it. Well, that cost me $15.40 to fill that tank. At $1.51.9 a liter. A little expensive, but they say gas is more expensive in the morning than it is in the afternoons. Oh, did it go on? Come on. Hey, I don't feel right. Something don't feel right here. Oh no, okay. Just not clicking like it normally does. I've got no hand strength, I guess. All the tweakers are coming in now. So I figured this location would be a good location. Shaker Show Lounge. This is the one and only nudie bar, I guess you'd call it. Nudie bar that's left in Surrey. At one time, there used to be a stage just behind that wall right there where that sign says open Wednesday to Saturday, 9 to 2, book your table. And my band, first band I ever had, we played our very first gig there. One time. So anyways, let's get on with this thing. Things I hate about the Iron 1200. Well, wouldn't really say hate them, more a kind of a dislike. Man, this bike's dirty. I'm just noticing how dirty I should have maybe washed. Got all the dead bugs and stuff all over it. Holy Christ. Damn, Road Rash, you need to wash your bike, man. Well, I guess after a long epic journey, you're going to have a lot of dead bugs. But anyways, let's get on with it. I'd say the first thing, after that long epic journey, the first thing that's got to go, this. Right here, the seat. That's the first thing that's got to go. That seat, it's okay for a short little ride in and around town. But that their seat will make your butt numb in no time. No time whatsoever. But it's alright. I was able to do that ride. My butt did get numb, but it's definitely the first thing that's got to go is that seat. I'm going to definitely get a better seat. Another thing I don't like about this bike are these scorchers, these Michelin scorchers that Harley Davidson puts on with their brand name, Harley Davidson, on the side of it. These are just, they just don't feel right under you. They're a hard tire, but they just, sometimes they feel like they're just not planted. They just don't feel like they're planted to the ground. Another thing that I really don't like, and I don't know why Harley Davidson doesn't do this, for the price that you pay for these bikes, come on, man, LEDs, dude, give us some frickin' LEDs. Like, LED shouldn't have to be an aftermarket afterthought, man. An LED light should just come with standard. Like, even these should be LED, but you know what, companies like that needs to be tightened up, but companies like Rogue Rider Industries, wouldn't be in business today if it wasn't for the fact that these here are still bulbs, man. But yeah, this here should at least be LED. But one thing I do think is LED. Now, I don't know if I am correct or not, but every time at night when my bike is running before I go to work, this looks like it may be an LED. I don't know. Let me look underneath. Yeah, I think that's an LED light because there's really no socket or anything in there. So I'm thinking this here is LED. These here could be LED. One nice thing though is these are integrated with this, so when you hit your brake light, these also come on as well, which is pretty cool. This bike is dirty. But geez, after a long epic road trip, I would be dirty too. What's another thing that, well, the gas tank. Come on, like the gas tank is pretty small. I'd like to see somebody in an aftermarket maybe cut a slice down the middle and add 2 inches to widen it. Same shape. Like the shape is great, but I just wish it was like maybe 2 inches wider. 2 inches wider, let's say at this end, to about 1.5 inches wider at this end, and maybe like an 1/8 of an inch taller, I guess, at this end, to maybe 1/2 inch taller at this end, just so you can get just that little bit more gas in it, just so that like the lines still look the same, but just make it that much bigger instead of this little peanut tank. Like doing the same shape but make it bigger, I think would be pretty freaking awesome. That's one of my pet peeves, is how small the tank is. Now on my long ride when I was coming back, I was actually quite surprised at how far I was able to get on that tank of gas. I didn't even see the gas light come on when I got into Gibson's to fuel up the bike. It was pretty much just above the line, essentially. I'm sure like 2 more kilometers it would have came on. Another little pet peeve of mine, and it's just because my other bike, just too much throttle play. I don't like that. You know, I can work this out by simple adjustments and shit right here, but that's just because I'm used to, you know, just being it instantly, right? The other thing this bike really doesn't have, like some other bikes, is no engine braking. I'm really surprised that there's no engine braking on this thing. Like I thought for sure that there'd be a lot more engine braking, but yeah, there's really no engine braking on this thing, man. Like, you know, other than that, it's a good little ride though, don't get me wrong. I do like this bike a whole lot. There's a whole lot I can do to this thing, but you know, these are just little nitpicky things. You know, when it comes to nitpicking things, for instance, there's no gear indicator. There's a gear indicator on the dash here, but if your clutch is engaged, you got your clutch closed, it doesn't tell you what gear you're in. So you always got to make sure that you stomp down, make sure that you're down in the first gear. As soon as you let the clutch out though, the moment the clutch is disengaged, the gear indicator comes on your dash and tells you what gear you're in. The other thing would be nice, instead of having a little gas light telling you that it's time to go to the gas station, it'd sure be nice if they had a gas gauge. Like, come on, man, like with today's technology, why can't we just have a gas gauge in here, right? Like just something simple, you know, like revamp this here, put gas gauges in it, you know, keep a gear indicator so you know when your clutch is in, you know how much, you know, you're still in gear. Like it's kind of odd that there, when your clutch is in, it doesn't tell you what gear you're in, you know. You know, the suspension, well, stock suspension. Any bike's stock suspension is pretty much all the same, unless you're buying premium. But you know, people say you're buying premium with this, but you don't really get much. But you know, it's old technology. It is what it is, man. You're buying this bike for what it feels and sounds like. You're not buying this bike because of its technological marvels, because it sure doesn't come with any, man. But other than that, there really isn't too many more things. I like the fact that, well, mine's keyless, so I don't have to worry. I got a key fob with mine. You know, you got, of course, your lock right there to lock your steering. But, you know, I can't really think of too many more other things at this bike that I dislike. You know, the stock exhaust is quiet, but, you know, that's EPA, man. That's really got nothing to do with Harley. They got to do that just to sell it in the country that you live in. Oh, and speaking of country that I live in, I would say the biggest thing that really grinds me about this bike is how much fucking insurance costs here. Like, that's probably my biggest hate. But insurance, that's, you know, due to where I live, not where you live, but where I live, insurance is just a whole lot of money, man. You know. And of course, everybody right now that I'm seeing online, a lot of people don't like the fact that it's really hard to get them into neutral, but, you know, give it time. Once it breaks in, other guys say, oh, once you change the fluids, it gets easier. You know, it's not like your typical sport bike where you feel the click when you put it in a neutral. This is like just the weirdest little half clicky thing, quarter clicky thing, you know, so I don't know. But other than that, you know, it's a good little bike. Let's get on it and take it for a little rip. I gotta go to the store anyways, and it should be opening up once again at 7 o'clock in the morning for me. Hit that fuel pump switch. There you go, magic switch. You know, but if you look, right, how much play that's in that, you know, before I hit throttle, it's like, it'd be a whole lot nicer if it was a little bit better than that. See, in first gear, you know, it's got a bit of engine braking, but I'd figure it'd have a whole lot more engine braking. Definitely needs better engine braking, but you know, just the way these bikes are. I've never ridden any other cruiser, so I can't really compare this cruiser to any other cruiser when it comes to engine braking. But my God, she's dirty. She's gonna have to get a bath this weekend. Speaking of which, getting a bath this weekend, the insurance runs out this weekend, and well, I'm not gonna be renewing it. I'm gonna just be getting permits for this bike because it's just, insurance is just way too expensive for 3 months. $775 for 3 months is redonkulous. I'm not going to pay that again for 3 months, considering there's not really 3 months of riding here left for this bike. Come on, light, let's change. Oh, one of the other big dislikes about these things, when you're sitting in stop and go traffic like this, the oil tank under your bum tends to get a little bit warm. But you know, these are just little nitpicky things. You know, I really don't care what other people think about it. That's just my little nitpicky things on this bike. What, Tex Big Burger's moved here now? What the heck? So yeah, those are just the little things that I dislike about the bike. I don't really hate this bike. Nothing to hate about this bike, I'll tell you what. You know, people that hate it, whatever. They'll hate the brand. People are brand haters. But yeah, I don't hate the bike. They're just little things that I think could be improved upon, you know, for what you pay. But other than that, you know, it's an awesome little bike, don't get me wrong, but you know, all manufacturers have got some sort of thing that they you know, that people would wish they would do. All manufacturers have, you know, have things that people would wish they would do, like improve suspension and improve this and improve that, improved handling, you know. It just, but that all comes at a cost, right? Like, it's going to be more of an up cost on top of, you know, your cost, right? So that's why a lot of these aftermarket, you know, come out. So you can probably do it for cheaper, I don't know. Like I said, the other thing I really hate is sitting at these lights, man. That oil tank's right under your ass, right under your butt, and it can get hot. It can get real hot, man, especially if you're sitting in stop and go traffic in the city. It'll get really hot on you. Finally, countdown 10, let's go, countdown. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Pretty much those are all the things that I really kind of, like I say, dislike. Can't really say hate, don't hate it, but yeah, it's what I dislike. Anyways, oh, also if you haven't, subscribe. I see I get lots of people who don't subscribe, so yeah, man, feel free to subscribe to my channel, it's free. That's the thing about YouTube, it's awesome, it's free. Doesn't cost you a penny, unless, of course, you... So yeah, subscribe to my channel, man, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything unless you have YouTube Premium, and you know, even then it probably doesn't cost you a whole lot. Anyways, gonna keep this one short. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Mash all over that like button if you like this. Stay safe on that subscribe button, and we will slay her another time. Cue the music.